Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast for all that crap we love to discuss on Yield Brovs. I'm Ronnie, and that's Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
I'm so good. This is a very special day for us here at Crappens because it is the beginning of season 18 of Real Housewives of Orange County. Ben, how do you feel?
It's the 100th season of Real Housewives. Yeah, I feel fantastic.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. I feel like partially I wonder if they...
That's not true.
You know, they're promoting it. They're saying this is the 100th season of Real Housewives.
So this is the Peggy Sulahan of Housewives season.
It is. It is. Wow, Orange County. So we've been waiting for this. We're feeling like this is the big one. This is the big one. You know, every year there's kind of like, every year there is a Real Housewives franchise that is just like, that's the one for the year. Like that is it. Last year was Salt Lake City, which bled into January. The year before that, it was Miami. You know, New York had it for many years. Based off of this premiere, I cannot imagine any other Housewives this year that's going to be better than Orange County. I know it's only been one episode, but it came blazing out of the gate. So strong, so good. Like every scene was hilarious and like riveting, and it was amazing. What did you think?
Loved it. I'm much simpler in my thought pattern. Loved it. I don't know that I need to jump. Here's my thing with what you're saying. They opened with a clip of Teddy on this show. I don't approve of it. I don't like it. I don't know where that came from. And I hate it. I hate that. I hate that for this show. So if this is going to be the best season ever, that's not the way to hint that at me. Now, the rest of it, loved the rest of it. So we'll get into that. But in a second, sorry, not in a second. We'll get into that in a second. But for now, go to our Patreon because we're having a very special thing happening on Patreon. We are taking on Love Island America, Love Island US. We're doing 4 mini recaps a week, which are turning out to not be many at all. Today's was 40 minutes. So those are going to be 4 days a week for the next couple of weeks while Love Island is going on. You can get all of those video and audio over on Patreon. Go over there. It's so much fun. Even I'm enjoying that stupid fucking show. I can't believe that's happened to me.
How dare you?
So that we're having a really good time over there. Go check that out. For those of you who don't have the money or the inclination to join Patreon, we will be putting those out a week later as one giant episode for free on the feed. So it's really something extra for everybody. But if you want those fresh daily, go over to Patreon and get those. And thanks for being here. We love you guys. And thanks for being with us for yet another season of Housewives. Yeah.
And one other thing before we dive into it, in case you missed the announcement earlier this week, because you may be just a Housewives girly, you may not listen to Below Deck, you may not watch Dubai. We have organized some of our back catalog. You know, some people, if they were like, hey, how do I listen to the Watch What Crappens recaps of all of season 8 of Real Housewives of New York? Now you don't have to go digging through the back catalog, piecing it together. We've created these playlists so you can go directly to it. Like, okay, Real Housewives of New York, scroll down, season 8, here are all the Crappens recaps. So go to watchwhatcrappens.com. They're on our website. There's a new tab there that says back catalogs. Our friend Paul has been organizing it. And so far we have back catalogs organized for New Jersey, New York, Orange County, Below Deck Med, and House of the Dragon. So go check that out. And we're going to have obviously more series going to be organized that way. And we will make announcements as they come online. So go check it out.
Yeah, do it. Okay, so here we go. Dun, 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 dun. September 7th, 2023. And we are at the reunion, last year's reunion. Now, look, we all knew something was really wrong with Shannon at last year's reunion, mostly because of her hair. Her hair was a disaster. Her look was her curly headed. The clips were wrong. The clips
like
weren't
sunflower.
clipping.
She looked like a big piece of corn, you know, like she was wearing that yellow, her hair was up, everything was wrong. I'm surprised Pamela did not get fired after that travesty. In fact, Pamela not only did not get fired, she actually wound up coming as Shannon's +1 to the party today. So Pamela is really working her way up the ladder here.
I think if anybody needs to consider rehab right now, it's Pamela, because Pamela is clearly working under the influence. The clips were not clipping today either. And listen, I'm not a hair guy. I literally do not care about people's hair or clothes. I'm not that kind of gay. I'm not that shallow to even care. So I'm not saying like, oh my God, it's so tacky. I'm saying literally the clips are like taped to the back of her head. Like, what are they? You can visibly see them.
They literally look like the slides that pop out of an airplane in a water landing. Okay. It was like, what is happening under that hair?
Yeah, Pamela. And I really like Pamela because she looks like old school Alexis Bellino, doesn't she? She came back looking like Alexis Bellino, which is weird. I feel like the show is bullying Shannon on every front. There, I said it. And everyone is going to get so mad about Shannon's DUI. You have the right to be. DUIs are disgusting. She deserves everything she's going to get from the audience. I don't care. Stop bullying Shannon. Okay. I'm not saying I don't care about her DUI. I'm just saying it's not an excuse to bully the poor woman. But by the way, I was about to say, leave Shannon alone. No, don't leave Shannon alone, because you guys bullying Shannon is going to lead to the best Shannon season we've ever had. So keep it up.
Yeah. But I was going to say that Pamela to me looks like Alexis Bellino meets Erin Leachy or whatever. How do you say it? Is it Leachy, whatever, from Real Housewives of New York?
Leachy? I always thought it was Lachey, but I think you're right. I think it is Leachy.
And Nick Lachey. There's some Nick Lachey in there. Yeah, this was a savage episode because I feel like I've just gotten so used to these shows where someone gets a DUI and everyone gathers around and it's like, you need our support right now. We're going to get you through it. They were like, oh, fuck her. They were all like, fuck her. She got a DUI. I was like, this is kind of hilarious. So we see Shannon at the reunion and Shannon doing the usual stuff like, do I go out and drink sometimes? Yes. Like, for you to say that I need rehab, for you to say that I'm calling people every single night. Hold on one second. I hear that it's about 11 p.m. in Paris right now. I'm just going to call my friend. They are saying that I need rehab right now. Can you believe it? They are saying, okay, all right, Marie Claire. All right, bye.
I'm here to say that I can breathalyze. I'm breathalyzing right now because I'm so offended at you saying that I need to breathalyze. And Sheena's she's like, come on, Shannon. So then we see 10 days after the reunion. I did not remember that the reunion was all about calling out Shannon for being an alcoholic. I didn't remember that. And watching it back, I was like, oh my God, this is so awkward. And then Heather getting that sad look on her face, like, you know, the Heather nod, the black-eyed Heather nod, where she's like, Shannon, no one said it was every single night, Shannon. And I was like, oh no, Heather's doing the I feel sorry for you and you're poor. Like, oh, she's giving her the double look. You know, I felt so bad for Shannon.
And it's so Shannon to be there on the sofa with her crazy hair and that big yellow dress to be like, I don't need a breathalyzer. I mean, DUIs, I would never get a DUI. More like a DYI, because I am going to learn how to make fresh lemonade out of my lemons because of you bitches.
I have been doing everything myself. I've been doing yourself it for so long. Raising 3 daughters who are now at college. Why isn't anybody feeling for that? Can I get a drink, please? So,
putting cream cheese and salmon by myself for years now.
I do everything by myself except ship my products. For that, I use ShipStation, which I love very, very much.
DIY, do it yourself. That is a perfect way to describe my entire relationship with John Jansen, in fact. It's just me in that relationship, as far as I can tell.
So a reporter comes on the screen and is like, Shannon Bedour drove her car into a home and then decided to leave. Which I like the turn of phrase, like, and then she made the decision to leave the home.
These headlines, they show headlines, you know, she's arrested, DUI, you hit and run, here's what we know, blah, blah, blah. They really didn't, they should have put up some other headlines that were like, was found, 50 yards from her car walking her dog, claiming she was just out walking Archie the entire time, because that's my favorite part of it.
That was the best part of the story. And they really do need, I feel like there's enough Housewives news that they need to have a gay on the scene for whenever there's a Housewives scene, because this just isn't cutting it. This lady's like, look at this house. I mean, this house, this is where she hit the house. And then she just shows like a sad little brick that has fallen off the house. No, you need a gay to be over there like, That bitch hit this house right here. I'm going to ask the house how it feels. House, you got hit. You look stupid. How do you feel about it? The house is crying, you guys. The house cannot even talk. House, I need you to talk more. I'm up more, house. Y'all, this house is a bitch. So we're going to have to go to the commercial break until we can find a talking house. In the meantime, Shannon was walking her stupid dog over there and acting like the dog just had to pee. Can we let the woman walk her dog? I mean, seriously. Here's what I have to say. Not guilty. Thanks for coming to the news, y'all.
I love that. I would totally be down for that. Well, maybe, I mean, we do know at least one unemployed news reporter in Orange County, but I don't think that Shannon wants to hear any reports filed by her, if you know what I'm saying. This is Alexis Bellino reporting for Fox News 6. There was a car that hit this house, but the news just came in. It was driven by an old slut. So, we have to consider that with the authorities. Back to you, Phil.
This house has been hit in Orange County. It's a broken house, but it's not more broken up than Shannon Bedore is with John Jansen, who is now my man, bitch. So,
Johnny J. So now we have we see Shannon talking to Heather about it. She goes, John said to me, "You're a drunken idiot." So I got in the car and I lost control. And I was like, so you were acting like a drunk idiot, perhaps?
Yeah.
The best way to prove people that you're not a drunk idiot is to drunkenly get in the car and drive into a house.
Yeah. So 5 months later, and then of course it's Emily and Shannon. Oh no, I thought it was going to be Emily and Gina. Sorry. So Emily and Shannon are having lunch, and Emily's like, "How do you feel?" Emily loves getting in lawyer mode and then grilling people on the stand. And every time she does it, they're already confessing. Like, Emily has the easiest lawyer job ever. She's never even gotten anything out of anybody because she just goes after people who are already confessing.
And then she uses it against them the rest of the season. So, how do you feel? And she was like, well, I am continuing to work on myself. I was just making a lot of very, very poor decisions. Can I get that tequila, please? Thank you so much. Thank you.
If I would get a decent amount of support from David Bedore, I might be making richer decisions. But unfortunately, I'm making very poor decisions because I'm left all alone to raise 3 girls. And Emily's like, so do you drink? Listen. Yes, of course she drinks. It's called taking your medicine, okay? And Shannon's like, "Well, I'm basically a 2-person max. Is it max drink? I'm a 2-person max drink right now."
Listen, I drink 2 drinks per day max. Now, are they tiki bowls? Perhaps. But are they straight vodka? Perhaps. But still just 2 drinks.
I have 2 drinks every time I turn on the television channel Max right now. And it's working out very, very well for me. Is that the HBO sound? It's called Max now.
It's not TV. It's drink your Max now, B.O. So that doesn't make sense.
It makes sense to me.
So then we see Tamara and Heather talking, and Tamara's like, Do you think she has an alcohol problem? Do you? And Heather's like, I do. Let me nod my head with very black eyes. I do.
Are we talking about Shannon or are we talking about Gretchen Rossi? Because they're both bitches to me. So then we cut back to Emily and Shannon. Emily is like, do you ever feel like choosing sobriety is maybe the best thing for you?
Well, I don't drink that often. I mean, 2 drinks a day is, that's barely, that's like barely drinking very much at all. Do you know how many hours go by between the second drink and then the first drink of the next day? It's barely anything at all.
And then we see Gina in a chef's hat, and she's like, I don't drink anymore. And she's like 20 years ahead of me. And I looked at what I looked like, and I was like, I didn't fucking like it. And so I stopped drinking, but she's still drinking.
I have a lot of things to say about Gina this episode, but we'll get to that. But Gina is on my last nerve already.
Gina, everyone's like, oh my God, Gina really has something to say to Shannon because Shannon said so much to Gina when Gina got blah, blah, blah. No, she didn't. She called her drunk driver attorney and saved Gina's ass. Now, did she hold that over Gina's head for eternity? Yes. But Gina didn't do the same thing and help Shannon in any way that now Gina can get revenge. Like, what's she going to get revenge on? Help Shannon and like keep her out of jail?
Gina takes and takes and takes, and she does not give anything back. And that's going to be a theme for the rest of this episode. You will see. So now the ladies are all having dinner, and Shannon goes,
Every day I wake up. I think about what happened. I think about how I could have just said I had a 3 drink a day max and I wouldn't be held accountable for that. But if I said 2 and it's on tape, it's like people are going to look for that 3rd drink. I should have said 3 days max. I think about that every day when I wake up.
Yeah, every day I wake up and I think about what happened. And Tamara goes, is that after you have a drink? And then we go to, tss, and then Shannon whips her head around and looks at her. And Shannon's like, I am done with people saying I'm the drunk that needs help, because I'm not. I had a really bad night. I can't talk about this right now. Oh, my tear actually tastes like Absolute. That's crazy. I want to have that happen. It's actually delicious. Can I have an olive?
I can't sit here. I gotta walk out. Now, for the record, I would have driven out, but I don't really have a license right now, so I'm gonna walk out.
I'm going to walk out because that's how I get everywhere at the moment. So the upbeat music is playing, and it's a Trixie classic. Excuse me, bended knee. Don't you know I'm royalty? And then it's Emily's house.
yeah. No,
Guys, let's save our music for deserving people. Okay. When Emily comes on screen, all I really want to hear is, hi, I'm Teddy. Hi, I'm Teddy. Hi, I'm Teddy.
So she's with Shane, and he's like theragunning her butt, and she's like, how does this work? And maybe no, this is not the theragunning session. That must be later. This is her just working out, and she's holding like a leg up, and Shane is like, wow.
Yeah,
this is a theragun scene. I'm sorry. Guys,
yeah, I
I'm
thought
being
so.
such a bad podcaster.
I thought it was. And like he's joking, like putting the Theragun in her butt and stuff. And it's one of those like, wow, Shane and Emily find each other so sexy. You know what, guys? That is so great. I hope you guys have sex 90,000 times a day. And guess what? I don't want to picture either one of you naked ever. And stop putting that in my head. You know what I mean? Just stop.
Yeah, we can stop with this. So then we
Yeah,
go,
enough.
we're seeing other stuff. We go over to Jen's yoga class, and she's like, all right, everyone, thank you so much. Like, you have 10 seconds, and then we move to a forearm plank. So thank you so much for getting to this pose. Thank you so much. And Chad goes,
That's 10 seconds.
if I ever go to a yoga class and someone is yelling out like that, I would very quietly be very angry. But of course I wouldn't say anything, because that's just not my nature.
Shannon's being wacky Shannon. So she's not bothered at all, Ben. She's looking great. She's feeling great. She has her revenge body. Not her revenge clips in her hair, but she's
Against the house.
Hair, Ben. Okay.
Yeah, revenge against the house.
Well, that house crashed into my car.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
So then we go to Heather's new house in Beverly Hills, because it's a Heather storyline, and Heather's only storylines are houses. It's been that way
Yes.
since her first season, and it's not going to change. So she's with Terry, and she's like, did you see that a house that just sold in Bel Air with our same exact view for $188 million? Come on, it had a helipad. We need a house with a helipad.
He's like, oh, it's like a car, and they had a car museum. She's all of the things. We're gonna get a car museum and a helipad, and we're just gonna show it to Gina and make her cry while she looks for her new downsized 2-bedroom house.
Don't you know I'm royalty? So now we're at Gina's house with her kids making dinner. She's like, let's do the meatballs first. Listen, why do you have to be careful with the meatballs? I still think Gina's faking an accent, and she's like from Ohio somewhere. I just don't. Listen, I'm educated enough and I know she's not Jersey. She's Long Island, right?
Yeah, Long Island.
I'm familiar enough with that accent. I was on the East Coast for like a decade. So I know the accent, and I just feel like she's not speaking it right. I feel like she's just a liar. She's undercover. There's something fishy with Gina. There, you know what? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't buy it.
So now, she's teaching the kids how to make meatballs and telling them about salmonella and the dangers of raw meat. So it's a typical Gina scene. And then we go over to Tamra in bed with Eddie. He has those big leg compression things that like go around your legs, like those big like I don't even know what you call them. They're just things.
I don't know what they are either, but I feel like Eddie's just a perfect example of somebody who's had too much protein powder and just works out too much. He's just one big overly, like when people get too muscular and then their muscles turn lumpy, like lumpy muscle. He's just like a lumpy muscle.
He's like post muscle, like that phase in his life is over where he's gaining muscle. It's now just sort of turning Arnold Schwarzenegger,
When dogs get old, like Bueller's old, he's an old man now. I love you, Bueller. I love you. I'm not old shaming you. But dogs get old and they get like lumps on them all over, and they're like little deposits of things. I feel like that's what Eddie Muscle is like. Was that too dark? I miss Bueller.
Oh, Buells. Either way, Tamara is straddling Eddie and she's like, oh, look, it's a disposable cock ring match. He's like, why am I getting lucky tonight? I was expecting Sandy and her boyfriend to come in on skateboards, be like, hey, kids, we just fucked downstairs. Yeah, we're wild and wacky seniors.
Hey, Tam, did you find my disposable cock ring anywhere? Brought it over from the Casco.
Mom, get out of here, bitch.
So then we go to some, just other scenes around town. So Jen is walking into Shred's gym and she's meeting Tamara, and Tamara's already working out. She goes,
Oh my God, bitch. I'm glad we're here together. Hope my armpits didn't smell.
They don't, but thank you so much for that warning. How's everything been?
Good, just busy as hell doing nothing, bitch.
Like, oh yeah? Like, what is Tamara busy with? Literally, she does nothing except for being on the traders. So she goes,
Yeah, we're splitting our time now between Big Bears and Orange County, bitch.
and so apparently they have a house up there now. And that's like, I guess it's Tamara's version of being Heather Dubrow.
yes, Heather Dusnow. So Jen's like, wow, that house is like amazing. Thank you so much for showing me pictures of your house. I mean, what a beautiful house, Tamara. What a beautiful house. And she tells us, Tamara and I think we're moving past everything that's happened to us. Tamara trying to ruin my relationship and my life and basically everything about me. Basically how Tamara just got me on this show and then dragged me through the mud and tried to ruin me and then made me take a colonic on national television. Maybe we'll get past that. I don't know. Thank you for asking, though, producers. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I see her for who she is, which is a total nutter bitch. And so I'm just keeping it light and easy and exactly where I want to keep it with Tamara.
So then Emily comes in. She's like, I can't even bend down. Me and Shane, we're just getting so sexy right now. Don't even ask.
And she talks about like her journey over the past year. She's lost 40 pounds from Ozempic and liposuction and going to the gym because she wants to keep it off. And that's her storyline is that she lost weight.
Well, congratulations on saying Ozempic and admitting it, because that's very rare on these shows. So congrats. Yeah. I give you props for that. So then
but by the way, she says that like one of the reasons why she's also going to the gym is because it's better than raging at Shane all over the house. I'm like, no, I think I actually would like to see you rage at Shane. That's content I would be looking forward to.
It's more entertaining for us. I mean, if raging at Shane burns calories, let's all fucking do it. I mean, there's finally someone will have a successful gym in the OC. Just go scream at Shane,
Yeah, works for me. So now we wind up at Shannon's new rental. And the girls are all there and they're sitting down with some chicken salad, etc. She's like,
Girls, I have to tell you, this is a huge deal for me to have Diet Coke in this house, but I'm trying to be a cool mom now because I guess you get one DUI and suddenly your kids use it against you to advance their Diet Coke agenda.
Apparently, I had a little Absolute and Grey Goose in my system at the same time, so my kids are allowed to have aspartame.
I thought my biggest failure was driving drunkenly into a house, but apparently my biggest failure was raising children who enjoy Diet Coke. So learn a lot, little baby.
Listen, am I going to be a Coke Hero or a Coke Zero? That's up to you, kids.
So the kids are so old, it's totally weird to see them. I don't like it. Please backwards like everybody else on the show. And Shannon's like, well, you're on your own now if you want to die of pancreatic gingeritis from this Diet Coke. Enjoy that. Okay, so you're on your own. I can't stop you. Okay, Stella, are you kidding me? And Stella is walking with a thing of laundry, and she's like, what? I leave tomorrow, so I have to do my laundry. She's like, I just did the laundry, Stella. So Diet Coke made you leak all over everything that I did.
Yeah, but Mom, you were drunk and you dumped all the laundry on a house.
Well, I have a tendency to gravitate towards houses when I'm drinking, and it's not my fault. It's just the way I was built.
It's just that I was doing laundry and John Jansen called me a stupid drunk face, and I started the laundry on fire. It's John's fault. Ultimately, it's John's fault.
Well, America, I am an empty nester. I have recently purchased all 7 seasons on DVD and have been watching them as a marathon ever since this DUI. I have to say, Harry he's a hero and an icon, but besides that, my children have moved out.
I'm no longer driving. Now I'm leaving my car in park overall.
So, I have started calling Archie Dreyfus. And I'm turning over a new leaf. I leave my door unlocked in the hope that Joe Suzu will come through one day and drink something out of my fridge.
Well, I'm an empty nester, and so now I have moved to a rental in Corona Del Mar. It's 3 bedrooms, and I can walk to the beach every day. I just stand there and watch blonde sluts walk back and forth. Imagine them holding hands with David Bador. It's old habits die hard.
Yeah, that's. I do like to sit at my window and just look at the waves and the people go by and go, slut! Slut! And then I walk to the beach because, again, I can't drive to the beach. I just walk.
I'm actually so sad for Shannon because she loved her boathouse.
Well, it wasn't her boathouse. That was John's boathouse.
No, that was John's little house by the water.
You meant the one that
she had like a nautical farmhouse. Remember, she had like a farmhouse, but it was like nautical theme.
Yeah. Yes, her nautical with the oven that was out of the way.
Yes, it wasn't a triangle of usefulness or whatever.
You know,
the Chip and Joanna yes. boat that she lived on.
Usefulness.
Yeah, well, it's I like to call that my Bermuda Triangle. So, I have downsides. I don't need the space anymore because I live alone. My children have moved away, and as we all know, John Jansen has left me, and I've been sitting here paralyzed, replaying arguments in my head, and I'm happy. I'm living on my dream has come true. Old age alone with no one by my side except skanky women walking on the boardwalk. I'm happy.
I'm in a great mood. I'm in a great mood in my tiny, tiny little packing container home. So let's just go sit over here, girls. Now, let me update you, everybody. Sophie, oh God, I'm so happy. Sophie is a senior at Baylor University, which is so funny because bailing. John bailed on me. John's a bailer. That went full circle quickly, didn't it? I'm happy for her. I'm so happy.
Adeline is in New York City at the Parsons School of Design, learning lots of things and being around the liberals. And Stella is part of the USC transfers in Paris. Far away from all of us. And we get together at the holidays, and Sophie expresses her Texas feelings, and Adeline expresses her Parsons School of Design feelings, and Stella tells me to shut up, and we have a very happy time together as a family.
You know, it is like August Osage County at the holidays with that family now. Like, as you know, Sophie is totally going traditional, kind of like conservative path down with Baylor with Reed.
Yeah.
And Adeline's in fashion school. You know, it is just nothing but back and forth. And
she'll be like, why can't we just talk about nice things? Why don't you say something nice about your sister? Why do we always have to fight?
And you know it's going bad because Stella's one of those people who's like, guys, you should all go abroad. I've like totally done it. What an opportunity.
One of the biggest failures that we as humans have had is that we did not support Real Girlfriends in Paris long enough, because if it were still on the air, I'm sure Stella would have made her way onto that show.
Oh, that would have been amazing. But isn't that just such a youthful thing? I did that when I was young. When I moved to New York, I moved when I was 18, and I came home wearing a beret for my first Christmas. It's like, and I had like an ear cuff, like a little man crawling up my ear. I was like, yeah. I have a beret and an ear cuff, so I'm pretty artistic now, guys. You should try it.
I act like Stella when I go to Target. I'm like, guys, you should be going to Target. I'm just saying.
Living spaces. Just got back.
Oh my God, I was singing that song.
You guys should
all
try
last
living in
night.
spaces. So sorry, Ben. What were you saying?
I was singing that jingle all last night. It was in my head. I was at board game night. We were playing a game about being in outer space, and I kept on going, living spaces, every time someone mentioned space, and everyone was getting annoyed at me.
I need spaces. I'm sorry, I was singing to John Jansen.
All alone spaces.
I'm alone now. Well, this isn't even a living room, it's a shoebox. So please don't leave me here. I'm sorry, what were we talking about?
I miss all the things in my life. I used to have spaces.
So they're like, oh my God, shut up, Stella. You've been out of town. Congratulations.
Well, she's been to 9 countries in her first semester, much like how her father was in 9 women in my first semester of pregnancy.
So Shannon's like, I'm like, Mom, why are you crying now? She's like,
Well, I mean, I took Sophie to college. I took Adeline to college, and your dad took you. So it was my intent to come and visit you. But hold on, let me lean my head back and touch the bottom of my eyes. It was my intent to come and visit you, but because of my mistakes, I wasn't able to come, and I feel bad. I need a drink.
Mom, put the bottle down.
I'm so sorry. And I humiliated, and I disappointed you. And like, what kind of example am I at 59?
Mom, I just want to check. Are you sorry for humiliating us about the DUI, or what about like the years and years of stuff before that?
No.
What about that time you showed up at our dance recital and threw a crutch at our teacher's face?
Well,
There was a woman sitting in my seat, and she had crutches, and I wanted one of them gone. I couldn't fit.
I am sorry that I confused your teacher for a carnival game and confused the crutch for a beanbag and confused your school for the Orange County Fair. But I had reached my 2-drink max for the day, and things happened.
So Stella's like, Mom, we're just glad that you're okay and that no one was hurt. And they're like, yeah, and you take accountability. And Shanna's like,
well, on the night of the DUI, I drove to John's house, stupidly, and we got into a big argument, and he said, you're a drunken idiot. Don't get in your car. But, oh, God, I did. And I got in an accident 5 seconds later because I revved up the engine so he could know how mad I was, and I lost control of the car immediately. So it was because John made me mad that I revved up the car like that. That's what happened. So I take responsibility for John being a monster.
Literally, if you really think about her story, that is the funniest DUI. She's like,
I am not drunk and I'm not an idiot. And to prove it, I'm going to rub this car, crash into a wall. She just went, I mean, like, it's almost like a comedy. Like, if it were a comedy, it would be funny, but it's real life. It's not funny because of DUI. By the way, I'm not going to keep saying this. We all know DUIs are horrific. I think they're awful, and I think that they're actually taken to, like, people consider them too lightly. But we're a podcast, and at a certain point, like, I'm not going to do the disclaimer anymore. And if people get mad and say, "Oh, you're taking DUIs too lightly," no, I think DUIs are terrible. But what I think though is Shannon's specific situation, it's kind of funny, and it is funny. And just to think of her getting it that
we're just saying DUIs aren't funny, but if you wanted one to be funny and you were casting for a comedy DUI, Shannon Bedore's agent is the one that you would call. Because
I'm just imagining her talking and saying,
and here's another thing, John Jansen. If you ever talk to me,
just like her just zooming all out of frame. Right?
So Sophie's like, she goes,
Yeah, well, girls, I've never broken a bone. I've never had a concussion. I've never been in an accident.
wait.
I've never had a Diet Coke in my house.
I've never had emotional debris stuck up my butt that David Bedore had to get out with his black love.
I've never
What
had
else? Other things that I haven't done.
Because I think hasn't she been in a cast on this show? Is that in my head?
I honestly don't remember.
And then she's like, I've never had a concussion. I know we've seen her in some kind of a head sling, but maybe that was from face
Maybe
surgery.
did she ever have a boot? Isn't she always like twisting her ankle and stuff like that?
I mean, I remember the year Tamara had a thing that she had to roll around on her knee, but then didn't Shannon also have to roll around on her knee too? And then Tamara was like,
Yeah, of course Shannon has to roll around on her knee when I'm rolling around on my knee because Shannon wants to be me, bitch.
but I think that Shannon has done all of these things that she's listing is my point. I've never broken a bone. I've never had a concussion. I've never been in an accident. I've never had a Diet Coke in my home. I've never had emotional debris stuck up my butt that David Bador had to get out with his thumb. She's done all this stuff.
Never had a loyal lover. Never had a good friend, and never had a real relationship with Tamara Barney. You know, and then I had this, and then it all changed in 10 seconds, girls. 10 seconds.
And Sophie's like, well, it sucks, but this happened for a reason.
Oh God, well, here's the truth. God had a plan. I absolutely believe that. God wanted me to be drunk and drive that car. That was God's plan. He said, you know what, Shannon, have a few and get in the car. God works in mysterious, delicious ways. Here's what God said: shaken, not stirred.
Stella's like, yeah, and God's plan for me, I guess, was just to go to Paris and just become a better person than all of you guys. Sorry.
And on the seventh day, God said, let there be Michelob Light.
Let there be Schlitz.
So Sophie goes, well, it seems like you're taking more initiative to figure out why things have happened in your life and like why you keep certain people in your life when they necessarily shouldn't be there.
Yes, I call those people Diet Cokes. So I don't know why they're there. And maybe they should be removed.
Yeah, well, I'm really seeing who my true friends are now. Tamara, no. Emily, no. Gina, no. Bartles, yes. James, yes.
So then we go back to the gym and Tamara's like,
So wait a second. Jen, you saw Shannon?
and Jen's like, yeah, I saw Shannon. She came to the studio the other day, sort of made a lot of noise. Everyone left and I didn't get my $50, which means that, of course, I was just late for rent by, $3,000 instead of $3,050. But, it's, that's life.
Says she's working out now.
Well, she took a class. I mean, I wouldn't say she's working out, but she did take a class. Here's what she took a lot. She did a lot. She stood there and she really absorbed this a lot. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you for doing that, Down Dog. Thank you. Thank you, Shannon.
Wow.
And what's her buns? Emily's like, oh, she came to class. Did she fall down a lot? Listen, I do not love this Shannon slander. I'm not going to like this. I don't like this. I don't like Emily ganging up with
Emily.
Tamara.
Emily, your whole bit is that you fall down, like, quote unquote, by accident. Like, remember, like, that's what she always does. Oh my God, I fell down. I'm goofy. It's like the Vicky school of falling down. I didn't have
Fall
to
downery.
that.
Well, Tamara, in the beginning of this episode or at the beginning of the scene, Emily said something like, she dropped something. She was like, I haven't worked out in a long time. She dropped something. And Shannon was like,
Oh, what are you, Shannon now? It's like trying to be wacky by being klutzy.
so I think that's what they're saying. She's like, oh, so was she falling down a lot? And yeah, you're right, Emily, Ben. Emily is a Shannon. She's trying to be like
Vicky.
a physical comedy stealer.
Yeah.
Whatever. Get your
Like it's like what Vicky does when she falls over and you're like, that was fake. So Jen is like, you know what? I have a soft spot for Shannon.
I'm sorry, I have a turkey sandwich in my purse. I'm going to eat wackily to get America on my side while you talk about Shannon.
I have a soft spot for Shannon. And
I'm just such an average woman.
And we see Jen and Shannon. They're talking, and Shannon's saying,
Well, I've been, I've been going to a wellness program. I've been seeing a therapist. I've been seeing a psychiatrist. I've been seeing John Jansen with Alexis Bellino with The Quiet Women. That's really fun. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm happy.
When you feel like the rug is being pulled out from under you.
Oh, this is Jen. She's like, when you feel like the rug is being pulled out from under you and you're literally at rock bottom, you need a friend. You need a friend to be like, hi, I'm at rock bottom. Could you help me?
Hey,
do you have $20?
do you have that
anything in
rock-
your bank account?
I don't. Do you want to babysit my kids?
Can I borrow that rug? I told my landlord I would pay in rugs this month. It's so mean. It's so mean.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
So Jen's like, yeah, she said something about the Tres Amigas and that you're out. She goes, yeah, I am out. Yeah, she was surprised that you weren't doing it anymore. She goes, yeah, well, you know what? It was right after her DUI. She was basically on tour, telling people and the press that she wasn't drinking, and now she's drinking Diet Coke. Bitch. Which, by the way, wow. So I thought the Diet Coke came in from the daughters. Is it that Shannon's brought the Diet Coke into her lifestyle, into her world?
I guess so, yeah. Because, yeah, so she's like,
And then someone in the green room, and there's a bar, and she's over there looking around, and then pouring vodka in her drink. Pouring it in the drink.
I love this is a small moment. Jen goes, vodka and Diet Coke. She's like, wow,
that's so sad.
that's sad. That's sad. So Tamara's like,
Yeah, Shannon and I put together this live show, and it was like a lot about drinking and stuff, and I felt like it was just like in bad taste to do a show right after Shannon's DUI, bitch.
oh, since when is Tamara ever concerned about bad taste?
Tamara, the connoisseur of taste.
I know, of discretion and letting people heal. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So she's like,
Stop. Take a beer. Try to figure out what's going on in that bitch. Stop drinking. How about that?
Tamara's like,
She could have killed herself. She could have killed her fucking dog.
and they just cuts to Archie sitting there like, someone talking about me.
so then back to Shannon.
And she's like, oh, God, I just don't understand why I haven't heard from some people.
And Stella's like, well, it's surprising that they haven't reached out after John.
And she's like, oh, God, and he's dating someone else they know, and they haven't reached out. And I don't want John in my life anymore, but for him to be publicly displaying his relationship with Alexis Bellino, that slut. I mean, it's hurtful. It's hurtful.
The last thing that I want in my life is John Chance. Oh, wait, I think that's John's son out there. Hi, John's son. Hi. Oh, you know what? It's just a palm tree. My bad.
So she says that 10 days after her DUI, John called her and said, I'm cutting ties with you. You've ruined my life and you've ruined my family's lives because of the publicness of who you are. Is publicness a word, A? And B, you were dating a TV reality star and now you're dating another one you weren't even dating a reality star at that time. You literally were dating someone desperate to be back on TV so that you could both get back on TV. Shut the fuck up, you low rent Al Gore. No one wants to hear it from you.
Yeah. Publicness apparently is a word, believe it or not. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, well, it's out there in public. It has a lot of publicness about publicness. 6 weeks later, he started dating Alexis Bellino, the one that started the ball rolling on my lawsuit.
And I was like, the lawsuit. I was like, oh yeah, because Jim Bellino files a $1 million lawsuit against former Orange County co-stars Tamara and Shannon because they went on to Heather McDonald's live show, right? And talked about Jim Bellino and his like chin implant or some.
No, they made fun of the trampoline park and said that they're dangerous or something, and people die. Someone said like, don't people die at those or something, and they got sued for slander.
Ugh.
Which, by the way, we're not saying that people they're don't sue us. We're just saying what the lawsuit was about.
Yeah, but that was a frivolous lawsuit, I believe, by Jim Bellino. He was always a dick.
No. Look at me being quiet. I'm like, I'm quiet about people who will sue me. But very easy to control in that way. So then Stella's like, yeah, he's an embarrassment to this family. And Stella continues. She's like, yeah, I'm like filled with rage thinking about him. I'm just thinking to myself, pourquoi? Does that even mean anything, Stella? I'm working on it, mother. I'm working on it.
Stella, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, I express my rage through miming now because I live in Paris.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Stella, I'm getting so sick of hearing about Paris that I could drink you.
No, Mama, not us, Stella.
Oh, okay. Should have thought about that before I named you, really.
So now we'll go back to Jim, and Jen's like, I have a question. Were Shannon and Alexis friends? And Emily's like, no, they do not have history other than Alexis's husband, Jim, sued them. Oh, yes, I remember that now. No, actually, I don't remember that whatsoever.
Yeah.
I just said that because I'm not comfortable with quiet. So Tamara talks about the lawsuit. She goes,
Yeah, in 2018, Jim Bellino sued Shannon and I for defamation, and the case has been closed. And I can't really talk about any kind of settlement, but we both lost a lot of money. Shannon lost $300,000 and I lost $500,000.
Don't want to talk about it.
So they're like, yeah, Alexis wasn't even married to him. She has nothing to do with it. And Tamara's like, yeah,
Alexis told me that she did not agree with what he did. I said, no involvement in the match. But do you want to hear some karma? God, say to her, if you can't fucking clean your act up after crashing your car and almost killing somebody, bitch, I'm going to give your boyfriend to the girl you hate the most.
oh, wow. Spoken like a true Christian. First of all, karma. And then God revenge bestowing Alexis on somebody.
but also, isn't this your friend? This is supposed to be your friend, and you're reveling in this situation.
It's Tamara.
Yeah, this is like, I think, really, like, this is just like shitty friendship.
Tamara's an awful, awful girl.
You should be there to help your friend
a
get
vile
through this.
person.
Yeah,
No,
help
she
your
got
friend
mad.
get
What
through
was she
this.
mad at Shannon for by the end of the season? They were all coming for Shannon by the end of the season.
Was it that Shannon was making things about herself, or who knows what? But like, either way, all of last season was Tamara like, becoming friends with Shannon again, and yada yada yada. And now, like, Shannon hits a house. I was gonna say a setback, but a house. But like, you're just being a shitty friend at this point. So, and just like laughing about Shannon's karma. It's not like Shannon's a victim here, but as her friend, like, Tamara should be trying to help her get better.
And then, we also have to remember when it comes to alcohol, Tamara's the one who like purposely got someone wasted and tried to have her son like assault them sexually on television. So I don't know that we really need Tamara as a moral virtuous.
She's not a moral compass.
You're not the Julie of this cruise ship, lady.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a back seat. Why don't you go like make some Christian quotes somewhere that make more sense? Fucking weirdo. Karma and God's vengeance of Alexis Bellino. Tamara's still a fucking monster, and I'm so glad to have her on this show.
She's so good.
Yeah.
So then we go back to the Shannon's household, and Stella's like, Mom, if you ever see John with his new girlfriend, quote unquote girlfriend, the most empowering thing will be if you just walk right by and go straight to the boulangerie, get yourself a croissant, and then go to the cafe. Oh, I keep forgetting. You don't live in Paris, Mom. That's me. That's me who lives in Paris.
Listen, I do not want to argue, so I'm just going to let things go. And I'm not going to be that person anymore. And if someone upsets me, if someone does something cruel to me. Okay, Stella, I don't need you to serenade me while I do my monologue. Right? I'm going to tell them what I've done, what they've done. I'm no victim anymore. Stella.
So Shannon's
Let it be known I have no fear. Although I am a little concerned about the toxicity levels in this household now that we have Diet Coke. So I don't know. I'm thinking that we maybe all should go to see Dr. Moon soon. Okay. I'm not going to sit here in a corner and avoid Alexis Bellino. I'm going to walk right up to her and say, well, okay then.
I cannot walk up to her and say, excuse me, who?
I am going to walk right up to Alexis Bellino and say, how do you do? And then I shall go find some crudités.
I can't wait to tell her, enjoy my sloppy seconds.
And the girls are like, yes, mother, period.
T. Period T. She's like, that is right, girls. Period T. Is that French?
So now we go to Heather's new house in Bel Air. It's with Terry, and they're settling in. And Heather's like, "So this is what we need to go over, Terry. Zach is coming over to talk about budgets and timelines for the house. Ohad is coming over from Circa to talk about the guest house. 45 poor people are entering through a back door to clean the downstairs and the upstairs, and we shall never acknowledge their presence. Do you understand, Terry?"
By the way, it cracks me up that there's a sign that says "Do not open" on the refrigerator. Some people think it's because there's fragile things in the house, but it's really so the kids don't ever get fat. Isn't that hilarious?
So she says, I'm always looking for a new project. After we sold our Crystal Cove house, we bought this house in Beverly Hills, and I tried to get onto a different franchise. Didn't really work out, so now we're stuck with another mansion. Ha 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 ha. Oh well, they wanted in the low 40s, and we got it for $16 million.
Yeah, it's on 8.3 acres. Wow. And she's like, I mean, we have the penthouse, but that's only 2 bedrooms. We need a family home. Enter Beverly Hills.
As in, I would like to enter the Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And so she goes,
but hey, you never know. Stranger things have happened. Do you think they would let Dubrow on? I feel like they wouldn't.
No, I think it's actually hilarious that she has literally moved to Beverly Hills and she's still stuck on Orange County.
I know.
So,
but they're showing Sutton on this show. So do you think that that's a hint?
well, Sutton's an upgraded good. So in board gaming, sometimes like you have things like you have resources that you can play with. So like you might have some ore, but I have jewelry. And if you need to pay something with ore, I can pay with it with jewelry because jewelry is just a better ore. But if something needs to be paid with jewelry, you can't pay with it with ore because ore is not good enough. So Sutton is the jewelry. Heather is, this analogy has really gotten away from me. I don't think it makes sense to a lot of people. The point is this: Sutton's allowed to go downstream. Heather's not allowed to go upstream.
That's funny.
It's allowed.
But I see what you're saying. Like Sutton's allowed to slum it, but rich people are allowed to go visit poor neighborhoods, but poor people aren't just allowed to go out for lunch at the Four Seasons.
No. Right. Even though Heather is actually very, very wealthy. So
right, but she's considered poor because she's not from.
Yeah, right. She's tainted.
Yeah,
so,
she's tainted. She smells like bowling alley, as we used to say. And I used to work in a bowling alley, but we used to be like, you can't date that girl. You smell like bowling alley, meaning like she's above you. We work in the bowling alley, but you can't date above you.
Sutton's like, I'm sorry, do I smell San Clemente in here? Smells like Tustin.
I was going to say, it smells like the Tustin Auto Show in here. Anybody smell that? It's where Ari comes from. That's why I know.
If you close your eyes, you can almost smell Space Mountain. It's like Anaheim. So they got this new house, and Heather's like, we're going to take this new house down to the studs. And now Heather gives us a whole tour, and she talks about this house was built in the 40s. So, Cary Grant's been in here. Lana Turner lived here. All these different people. I walk around and I think, gosh, if these walls could talk, like these walls you're about to tear down. She's like, look at all the history that was in this house. Okay, destroy it all.
Tear it down.
Tear it down.
Cary Grant's been here. I mean, that's such a California thing to say, isn't it? This house. Cary Grant's been here. Perry Mason walked by one time. Gloria Estefan flew over it.
And now me, someone who had a guest spot on Malibu Country, is added to the long list of celebrities.
If these walls could talk, they'd say, line.
If these walls could talk, they would say, are you in SAG-AFTRA?
So they both, do their normal Terry and Heather thing. Like, hey, are we going to be able to fit all our cars in this house? I don't know, Terry. I just don't know. That was absolutely hilarious, Terry.
By the way, we have to also talk about okay, I don't understand the point of having a mansion in Bel Air, but a penthouse in Century City, because what people who don't live in Los Angeles don't know is those are very close to each other. It's one thing if you have a penthouse in San Francisco and a mansion in Bel Air, but the side by side things, unless they're doing a flip, it does not.
I think they're doing a flip because they made so much money from that house last year. I mean, that was inspiring to watch. Really, I love real estate. I'm dying. I love real estate shows. I'm sorry, I was complimenting Heather Dubrow, so my body was rejecting it. But I love real estate shows, and that was pretty incredible watching them build that mall house from the start, from the ground up, and then making $9 zillion off of it. So I'm sure they're just going to do it again, you know. But it's also Heather doesn't know what to do on this show. That's her only storyline is having a house. That's all she knows how to do. So she's going to stay on TV. She's got to have a house, you know, that she's remodeling.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, either way, I just think I'm like, but if she says it's a flip, then I will let it slide. But I was just like, that seems very, very strange. But it's Heather. So anyway, so they're walking through and everything, and they're you know, the contractor's going through, and Ohad's like, yeah, we're gonna have a party when this is all done. And Terry goes, or a stroke. That's not funny, Terry.
So then I'm bored because it's them. I can't.
But also,
you have
by the way,
you have to tell me. I keep getting lost in the notes because I read Terry and Heather notes, and I'm just like, I'm tired. Oh,
but one thing that is funny though is that she said that basically none of this furniture is theirs. They just got stage furniture to put in there. And then Shelby, our note taker, says they cut to a gong, which I guess is stage furniture, which is kind of funny. That she's like, get me the gong. Put the gong in here.
You know what? I'd like to have an island, maybe some stools where people could sit around and gather, and a gong. Can we get a gong?
Just in case Cary Grant's ghost comes back, I just want to gong him out of here. It's my house now.
Just in case Richard Marx's stupid wife tries singing the song he wrote me again.
I call it the daisy, not the gong.
So then they start talking about the girls, and Heather's like, I mean, I'm in a better place with the girls. And by that, I mean, no one has threatened to murder me for a little while. So that's been fun. But I'm going to have a party and spend obscene amounts of money trying to win them back, because that always works.
Yeah, exactly. And Terry's like, well, I don't want to see you go through what you went through last year, because that was too much. Well, hopefully everyone will be nice, and I'm going to have lots of activities that'll be fun. And I'll give Gina lots of gifts and watch her be a total bitch to me for the rest of the season, despite all the things I give to her.
I know she wants things to be different this time, so she's going to do the exact same thing she always does. She's going to have a big extravagant party to remind everybody that she's worth more than all of them combined, and then just sit there with a stick up her ass and nod her head and shake her head. Like, she's starting the season the same way she does every single time. I love it.
So now we go to Emily's house, and Gina shows up, and she's like, oh, I was trying to make you a salad.
Wow, you're still trying to cook? That's so weird. There's like no sink in here.
And it turns out that Emily has been renovating her house, and now she's doing a kitchen reno. So everyone get excited for that arc. In about, 16 weeks, we get to see what Emily's kitchen looks like. Spoiler alert, it's going to look like every other kitchen we've seen on this show.
I was going to say, I hope it looks like Tuscany.
I know. As long as it doesn't have Tamara's very strange, like, built-in booth, I'll be happy.
I'm predicting faux painted walls and some, splotchy granite countertops and some big ornate wood Tuscan cabinets and possibly a Caliente sign or one of those ceramic chefs.
Yeah.
So you put cookies in.
I'm happy that we're doing the renovation because this kitchen was stuck in the 90s. Kind of like Shane's wardrobe. And I was like, you know what? That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair.
I giggled.
So they're talking about Gina's house, and Gina's like,
Oh, you know what? I'm listing the La Quinta home for Elizabeth.
and then we see photos. Ex-Real Housewives of Orange County, Elizabeth Lynn Vargas lists renovated La Quinta estate for $9 million.
Hey, kids, you got to see this house. It's unbelievable, astronomical, wonderful deal.
Unbelievable, unremarkable, unbelievable.
It's a house. Come see this house. It's an open house. It's a beautiful house. It's a place for families. It's a place for shingles. Everyone lives here in the house. It's a house for joy and a house for oi. Come to the open house.
Speaking of Elizabeth's brother, do you remember Andrew? He bumped into Shannon on New Year's Eve in the market, and she had like a full shopping cart of booze.
It's New Year's Eve. She wasn't like in the parking lot in a dumpster drinking it. Jesus Christ.
You know what? Gina has a shopping cart full of booze. Okay, shut up.
Yeah, they're all Ronnie branded.
She's that doesn't scream I'm on a new track. I'm like, okay, no, but to be fair, she does have a new track of hair in her head. So she goes,
She could use a new track. That's true. She needs a few new tracks. Okay, we'll give you that, Gina.
I just know that I was tortured by this woman over something that I took full responsibility for years ago.
I'm like, show all the clips of Shannon bring it up again. And it's like, yes, is it tacky for Shannon to keep bringing it up? Perhaps. But also, like, she's kind of like, I did you a major favor, and then you pay me with dust. And Shannon was upset about it.
They do show some clips of Shannon being like,
There is no excuse to get a DUI in this day and age and stuff like that.
That's funny.
But I would, I would like to remind Gina, the most of the shame wasn't for the DUI. It was for the not being grateful to somebody for helping you. It was like for fucking over somebody who helped you, which you still did. And you did it constantly. And every time you did it, she brought it up again. So if you don't want people bringing it up again, then stop fucking people over that have helped you. You fucking ingrate.
You know, I have no relationship with Shannon, and I don't believe in kicking someone when they're down. But seeing,
yeah, but welcome to Watch What Crappens and listening to the recaps talking about you for the past few years. Let's be honest. Like, look at her small house.
But seeing the news coming in the morning of Shannon's DUI, I mean, this isn't Hammurabi's code, but an eye for an eye, you know?
What was she talking about?
I don't really listen.
Hammurabi's code, is that a Bible? Is that a Bible quote that I did? Well, eye for an eye is biblical, right?
Maybe that's what Hammurabi is. I just always, as she's saying, like an eye. I feel like this is not the proper use.
The Code of Hammurabi is one of the oldest deciphered writings of length in the world, written in 1754 BCE, and features a code of law from ancient Babylon and Mesopotamia. The code consisted of 282 laws with punishments that varied based on social status. The fuck is she talking about? Where'd she hear about this?
Oh, it's because I bought Hammurabi's code and it's now in my house in Bel Air, next to the gong. So I don't think that
Gina coming in with like Mesopotamian lore. Like, I love it.
But like, also, is this an eye for an eye? Isn't it like you took something from me, I take something from you? So Shannon, like, you have a DUI. I don't think it's that. I don't think it works that way. Also, by the way, how did you miss the chance to say DUI for a DUI? Right?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Go for the joke, Gina. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, this is the end of part 1 of this recap. For part 2, keep an eye on your podcast feed. It is coming up in just a moment. Thanks so much for listening. Catch you on the second half. Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Strolling the park with Caitlin Clark.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas. She's never scary, it's the Green Fairy. Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. We want to hang with Liz Lang. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We got our wish, it's Jen Plish. She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch. She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel. Ring that bell for Rachel. She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.